Hey, VSauce, Michael here, and today we're going to talk about the science of the friend zone.
Oh, here we go. I'm looking forward to this. Let's see if he actually knows what the friend zone is really about.
You know, the experience of liking someone and then finding out that they would rather just be friends with you.
Ah, I see. It's the feminized, sanitized version. Of course. Let's see.
Why does it happen? If there's hope of escaping the friend zone, how can it be done? And more importantly, should you? The term friend zone was popularized by the TV show Friends on November 3rd, 1994.
Oh, something I wanna mention is the following. Friends, watched from a red pill perspective, is actually a terrifying show. It's literally everything wrong with 2022. Go watch Friends and watch the dynamic between the men and women. The men are S-star MPs, clueless idiots. The women are just sleeping around. Like, if you follow what those characters do on the show, it's the literal path to misery.
In episode 7 of the first season, Joey tells Ross that Rachel likes him, but will never like him. Ross is in the friend zone. Now, of course, everything turned out fine for Ross, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Back when I calculated how much money love is worth, I discussed the feeling of having a crush on someone. Those emotions, the nervousness, the excitement, have a name. What you feel when you have a crush on somebody is known as limerence. It's exciting to feel butterflies in your stomach whenever you're around somebody.
Oh, by the way, so between men and women, it's actually different. Again, nothing here is talked about, precisely. But the idea is this: so in 2022, girls fall in love with the anxiety, right? So they fall in love with not knowing if the guy is interested in them or not, and this usually happens when the guy is superior, right? When the guy has, multiple options, etc. Guys don't feel the butterflies in their stomach stuff like women do, because women feel emotions like 10 times stronger than men do. So again, the way that this VSauce guy is talking, it's like men and women are the same. So it's coming from an egalitarian, equalist, womanist frame, which is incorrect. Hello and welcome to heliosblog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe to the Nebula tier. Again, it's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Or you could drop me a donation like Tom M did. Shoutouts to him. Alright, let's continue.
And those butterflies may be caused by the release of adrenaline, which pulls blood away from things like your stomach and toward the muscles where it may be better used.
Oh, something I didn't mention. As I said, girls literally fall in love with the anxiety. It's right here, right? Adrenaline, right? So what's the point? If you're a nice guy, if you're leading with your wallet, being friends first, you're literally going in the wrong direction. You're going against the discomfort that's required to have an actual relationship. Just keep not relationship. I mean, to cause bedroom fun to happen. You're going against that anxiety, that tension, because bedroom fun is tension plus logistics. If you're going against tension, you're never going to have bedroom fun, and as a result, you're never going to have a relationship. Keep that in mind.
Of course, this can cause the stomach to shut down a bit and become upset. It may also explain why people have a reduced appetite when they feel lovesick. Now, whether you are male, female, gay, straight, everybody can be friend-zoned. And
Indeed.
Biologically speaking, the root of the friend zone
It's hypergamy.
may be Bateman's principle.
Oh, here we go. So guy, he's not going to say hypergamy, right? But oh, and there's one more thing. So why the friend zone? Okay, let me explain the actual reason why the friend zone, and then we'll see what VSauce has to say. So the reason for the friend zone is because women want to hold as many options as possible, but they only want the top option as their guy. So they have this thing called hypergamy, which is alpha seed beta needs. So they want a guy who's better than them in every single aspect. Taller, stronger, smarter, fitter, etc. And then they also want protection, provisioning, and parental investment. So usually the alpha male that they're attracted to is good at protection, but is not so good at provisioning or parental investment. And so what they do is they have the bedroom fun from one guy, and they have the resources and provisioning from another guy. And so the friend zone guys are the guys that are provisioning her. They're giving her boyfriend behaviors, right? Without getting anything in return. Whereas Chad is getting the bedroom fun for free. That's 2022. The girls are sleeping with Chad after Chad, who won't commit because he has so many girls he's sleeping with he doesn't have to. And then they're getting provisioning from other men in the friend zone. Okay, let's see this Bateman's principle thing.
Named after Angus Bateman, the principle states that whenever a species, like us humans, contains two different sexes, each with dissimilar sex cells, for instance, sperm and egg,
I think it actually is accurate.
One sex will have to commit more resources to the production of offspring.
Right.
In mammals, this is especially true.
For women.
A female can have only a limited number of offspring.
Right, okay, so he's going to get into the argument of sperm is cheap and eggs are expensive, which is why women are more choosy. Of course, and not only this, women are more choosy, and because they're more choosy, they are hypergamous, right? They want superior men to themselves. So the inferior men, they're stuck waiting around for a girl that was never interested in them. And they effectively, quote unquote, they don't actually steal the resources, but they make the guy think that they have a chance when they actually don't, and take the free attention, validation, and resources. And the truth is that social media is a great facilitator of this, right? So a girl can have an Instagram with like 1 million different guys, right, who are messaging her, and they're giving that attention, investment, and validation to the girl for free without getting anything in return. These guys are effectively friend zone guys. But any of these guys could be called upon to meet the role of parental investment should she have a kid with any of these chads.
Whereas a male can have a virtually unlimited number. This causes a biological tendency for
hypergamy.
One sex to be competitive and for the other to be choosy.
Actually, both men and women are competitive. And actually, men are also choosy for relationships, which is why Chad won't commit, right? Because no guy wants to be with a girl that like a bunch of other men have had, right? So
the newest episode of Earth Touch's Wild Sex goes into a lot more detail about this, so be sure to check it out. But today, regardless of whether or not reproduction is the goal, the roles of pursuer and pursued have extended beyond the Bateman principle and are now quite hardwired into our culture. Because not every pursuer can win, and because not every pursuer is a terrible jerk, some friend zoning is inevitable. It's disappointing when it happens to you, and it's easy to rely on the nice guys finish last excuse.
But they do. It's not an excuse. But of course, it is a natural phenomenon that women are hypergamous, and they're going to try to use guys for free attention and resources. And no, nice guys do finish last. So if you're the guy who leads by being friends first, you're going to be friend zoned. You're not going to get laid, you're going to waste your time, and you're not going to reproduce, right? You're just going to give away your attention and resources and validation for free and get punished for it by getting nothing other than wasting your time. And guys, as they say, time is money. And if you're a man who chases excellence, who pursues excellence, why would you ever waste your time on a girl that's not giving you what you need? Always be ready to flip over the board, go out and start a new game. Patrice O'Neill.
But so far, research hasn't found much evidence for it.
What?
What's more likely is that you have idealized the other person as a potential mate, but a neutral observer could tell you that, in reality, the two of you don't have as much in common as you think.
Okay, this is feminized and sanitized, but yeah, it is very common actually for guys to pedestalize women and to think that that girl is the one for me when she doesn't even see you as an option. Actually, this is very fundamental to our culture, because again, the bottom 80% of men are invisible to the average woman. So the average man, I'm going to repeat it again, the average man is invisible to the average woman in 2022. So, that's very true that could happen. All right. The soulmate myth. Actually, this is a perfect article here by Rollo Tomasi. With apologies to Dalrock for thread tracking his The One versus My One and Only post, after reading Dahl's take on the fallacy of the one and picking through the comments on casualties, I thought I might clarify a few things about the concept of the one. Are you ready, guys? There is no one. There is no one, and this is the soulmate myth. There are some good ones and some bad ones, but there is no one. Anyone telling you anything else is telling you something. There are lots of special someones out there for you. Just ask the divorced or widowed person who's remarried after their soulmate has died or moved on. This was one of my earliest posts back on the SoSuave forums. I was finishing my degree then and had the fallacy of the one graphically illustrated for me in psychology class one day. I was in class surrounded by mostly much younger students than myself, all very astute and intellectual as they come from mid-20-somethings. At one point, the discussion had come around to religion, and much of the class expressed being agnostic or atheist or spiritual but not religious. The rationale was, of course, that religion and belief could be explained as psychological, fear of mortality constructs that were expanded to sociological dynamics. Later on in the discussion, the idea of the soulmate came up. The professor didn't actually use the word soul, but rather couched the idea by asking for a show of hands as to how many of the class believed there was a special someone out there for them, or if they feared that the one got away. And damn near the entire class raised their hands. For all of their rational empiricism and claims to realism in regards to spirituality, they almost unanimously expressed a quasi-comic belief in connecting with another idealized person on an intimate level for a lifetime. Religion of the soulmate. Even the frat guys and hookup girls who I knew weren't expressly looking for anything long-term in their dating habits still raised their hands in assent to their belief in the one. Some later explained what the one meant to them, and most had differing definitions of that idealization. Some even admitted to it being an idealization as the discussion progressed, yet almost all of them still had what would otherwise be termed as an irrational belief in destiny, or even amongst the least spiritual that is just part of life to pair off with someone significant and there was someone for everyone. Which is bullshit because of hypergamy, by the way. So there's Rollo Tomasi. Just go back and read that. Just Google the rational male.
This is the argument put forward by Jenna Marbles in her fantastic video.
Nice guys do finish last.
It's called homogamy. We select our mates based on how similar they are to our own personalities, interests.
Bullshit. No. Lie. VSauce. Lie. 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 Women are hypergamous. They don't choose people based on how similar their personalities are. Liar. That is not true. Women select men based on hypergamy. They want a man who is superior to them in every way you can imagine. Taller, stronger, more charismatic, fitter, more intelligent, more money, better family. Every way you can imagine, that is what women are looking for. And it's because eggs are expensive and sperm is cheap. Not this personality bullshit. How could you possibly bring science in and talk about that scientific principle of male and female mammals and then transition to this? No. Jenna Marbles is not some kind of expert. No. That is not how people pair up. But yes, after women have wasted their prime fertility years, now obviously not all women do this, but if women do choose to do this, and many do in 2022, what they do is they then get a nice beta male to save them from their bad decisions. That's very common. but it ends up being a dead bedroom. They end up being not happy. They torture the guy. They treat him basically like a butler. But you don't want to be in that. That's basically like you're in a marriage simultaneously while also being in the friend zone. You're friend zoned by your own wife, effectively.
And ideals for the future. And so when someone is friend-zoned, it's often not because they were too friendly or too much of a nice guy. Instead,
False.
It's often just run-of-the-mill incompatibility.
False. No, that's not why. It is not incompatibility. It is not difference in personality. It is unequivocally hypergamy. Women want men that are superior. That means the average woman sees the average man as invisible, VSauce. And because of that, the average man is out in the cold. It is not because of some incompatibility or lack of communication or some other esoteric garbage, VSauce.
But let's not rule out being too friendly or too nice from every situation just yet. Marshall Fiend described the friend zone as a penalty box.
Okay, let's see. Just right. When it comes to this kind of romantic comedy, Queen Latifah seems like a natural as the woman who men love to hang out with, when they're not in the pursuit of a woman they want to have bedroom fun with. In dating parlance, it's called the friend zone, and it's like the penalty box of dating when your only crime is not being buff and unobtainable. So, girls don't really get put in the friend zone, guys, just so you know. Girls are either invisible to Chad or they're in the bedroom fun zone. The bedroom fun zone is the girl equivalent of the friend zone. It's where the guy sleeps with them but doesn't commit. So if you were watching my last video, it's like that girl who, she was with these guys and then they, betrayed her, quote unquote. It's really just having multiple options. But anyway, yeah, let's continue.
That you're sent to when your only crime is not being buff or unobtainable enough. Buffness falls into homogamy. It's about what someone else's interests are and what they want from a mate. But what fascinates...
No, it doesn't. Buffness falls into the category of hypergamy. A man who is more buff is more able to protect because he's able to beat up other men. So therefore, he's able to be superior to men in the physical realm. And women are looking for winners. They're looking for superior men. That's why buff men are attractive. VSauce.
Me is the part about being unobtainable.
Unobtainable.
Why would being available and present and friendly make you less attractive? And why would being kind of a jerk, too cool, aloof, or hard to get make you more attractive?
That's because of hypergamy. Because a guy... Okay, so here's how a lot of girls select. They select based on social proof. So girls want the guy that other men want to be and other girls want to be with. If you're too available, too friendly, too nice, it's very obvious you don't have better things to do with your time. If you don't have better things to do with your time, there's no way that you're going to be competitive. There's no way you're going to be attractive. So if you're overly available, texting her all the time, free all the time, available all the time, constantly messaging, constantly in her face, constantly wanting her attention, her approval, her validation, she knows she's above you. And so she's not going to be attracted to you because women are hypergamous. They want men who are superior. So again, VSauce has this like hole in his reality that he doesn't see the truth. He doesn't see it.
Well, Robert Cialdini calls this the scarcity principle.
Right?
We desire things.
Cialdini is a famous psychologist.
Because we don't like to have our freedom limited, and we act before it can be. This happens all the time in business, and it's equally true when it comes to attraction. Using the scarcity effect yourself is often cited as a possible escape route from the friend zone. Make yourself less available and see if your crush responds.
Oh, right. This actually is true and does work. It's not really worth it. It's not really worth it to go after a girl who's rejected you or put you in the friend zone. And the friend zone is a rejection. Make no mistake. When a girl says, let's just be friends, what she's saying is, I'm not physically attracted to you. I'm not interested. That's what she's actually saying. So when she says that, say, okay, and then don't talk to her anymore, because she's a waste of your time. And time wasters, again, you have better things to do with your time than talk to time wasters. Like, why would you spend your time being a pen pal to a girl when you could literally do anything else? You could do anything else, or you could talk to this girl that's not interested in you. Your choice. Yeah, facilitate her reality at the expense of your own. Why would you ever do that? But that's what the friend zone is, guys. So this guy talking about like how to break out of the friend zone. Yeah. The way to break out of the friend zone is to not talk to the girl at all and become a superior man and then talk to her in like 2 years. But at that point, you're not really the same guy you were 2 years ago, right? So you're just making a second pass. But at that point, you won't even want that girl anymore because you have access to other better women anyway. That's what I'm getting at here.
Or try using the Ben Franklin effect. Benjamin Franklin wrote about how he was able to form relationships with other people by asking them to do things for him. The theory is that by doing favors for you, cognitive dissonance occurs in the person's mind. Why would they be doing favors for you unless they liked you? Now, it's no guarantee that you'll become more than friends, but just by simply becoming friends...
something that I wanted to say is the following. If a girl likes you, there's a lot that she'll do for you. So how you can test a girl's interest in you is by seeing how she reacts when you ask her to do stuff. If she is willing to go above and beyond for you and sacrifice for you and do things for you that make you happy, that's how you know the girl is interested in you. So if she's not interested in you, she would never ever do something that you would enjoy that might inconvenience her. That's a great way to test. But don't try to get a girl to do stuff for you as an attempt to get them to like you. It's useless. That won't work.
You'll be doing something quite special because today we all on average have fewer friends, fewer close individuals we can confide in than we did decades ago. And we hang out with those friends less than we did before. This phenomenon was explored famously by Robert Putnam in Bowling Alone. For instance, from 1965 to 1995, the number of minutes people of all ages reported spending per day with informal socializing, hanging out with friends, going to parties, hanging out at bars, or having informal conversations fell from 85 minutes to just 57. In about the same time frame, the number of picnics held fell 60%, and the number of times on average we entertained friends at home fell from 14 to 15 times a year to a mere 8. We spend more time than we used to on entertainment, sleep, exercise, and transportation. Not bad things, but since the middle of the 20th century, the two activities that many of us still do that have decreased the most are attending worship service and hanging out with friends.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost the script here, so we're gonna stop the video. We're gonna go to the Reddit post. This stuff here is useless with regards to the friend zone discussion. All right, on to this post, which is embarrassment of riches, as they say. Torn between X and new GF. Almost a year ago exactly, my wife, 39, of 6 years, told me, 31, that she Wait, what? The guy is married to a girl who's 8 years older than him? Oh, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. We're not out here marrying girls that are older than us, guys. It's a gigantic red flag. Also, why would you marry a girl whose fertility is like... okay, anyway. These people don't know what marriage is for. But anyway, she told me she wanted to split up. In the preceding year, she tried to break up with me maybe 3 times. She wanted to sleep with other guys. But each time, she either changed her mind or was persuaded by me to stay and work things out. Her reason for wanting to end things was primarily our bedroom fun life, which had grown dull. She also had several crushes, quote-unquote, on her last couple of years, including being fully in love with one particular man, but had never acted on them to my knowledge. That's a lie. She told me we had lost the spark and that she'd been considering leaving me for years. Though I know that things like this are really advised, I strained myself financially in effect to keep her. For instance, I'd been paying all of our bills for years, always picked up the check at restaurants or any outings, and regularly bought her gifts. This has landed me in serious debt. Anyway, after having tried to save our marriage repeatedly, I finally gave up in December 2021 and moved into my own apartment in January this year. Guys, don't try to financially keep her. Always be ready to flip over the board, go out and start a new game. Side note, we do not have any children or property, so the separation was quite amicable. In the first month or so, I barely heard from my wife, and whenever we did meet, it was very awkward and strained. On top of that, she began to pressure me to initiate divorce proceedings ASAP, which cemented the fact in my mind that our relationship was irretrievably over. I started dating my current girlfriend, 36, let's call her Sarah, in February. Almost immediately, we clicked on nearly every level. The bedroom fun was and is great. We have much more compatible sense of humor. She's much more outgoing and all my friends adore her. And she's much more of a partner in terms of wanting to share expenses and chores, etc. Basically, the girl is in the guy's frame instead of the other way around. I told my wife that I was dating someone in late March and was stunned when she became very emotional and even started crying. This had shocked me, as she'd given me no indication whatsoever that she missed me in all that time. It was worth mentioning that my wife had not been dating at all at this time and was struggling a lot financially after suddenly having to pay all her own bills. I comforted her and we parted ways. Meanwhile, things with Sarah were going from strength to strength. We exchanged I love yous, and I even took her as my date to a wedding I was invited to out of town. Then in mid-May, I got a message from my wife saying that she wanted me back and would do anything to fix our marriage. So guys, again, hypergamy. Women want men that other women want. So there you go. After all, why else would she be... Okay. So did you do anything? I decided to answer was no, and I told Sarah that I was resolved to promptly go deliver my response to my wife in person, so I did. I'd honestly assumed that my wife was chiefly motivated by her loneliness and financial struggles, that she really missed the comfort and security of a marriage, and she did that more than she actually missed me. Yeah, that's true. After all, why else would she be contemplating leaving me for years? I told her my answer was no, which she initially accepted, but as the conversation went on, she became very emotional and nearly begged me to take her back. She apologized completely, admitted that she took me for granted. I could go on, but suffice to say that it really affected me. Nevertheless, I stood firm and didn't change my mind. However, ever since then, it's been constantly on my mind. On paper, Sarah's much better and hasn't done anything to warrant being heartbroken if I leave her. Plus, I do genuinely love her, but despite all the negative stuff with my wife, I was completely in love with her and had a very deep connection for nearly 8 years. I'm not a very religious person, but I know this isn't very fashionable these days, but I do try to take my Christian values seriously, and I do believe in forgiveness and honoring my commitments. It's also hard not to see choosing Sarah as being more selfish and convenient, given that she puts considerably less pressure on me. Conversely, my wife did put pressure on me, but it resulted in me better myself in many non-trivial ways. Another respect is that my wife is really not doing well, and I feel obligated to help her and take care of her. But maybe this is just old habits dying hard. Literally everyone I know sides with the Sarah option. And so does Helios. Helios also sides with this. Don't ever go back to that wife. She's just jealous, and now it's sour grapes. It'll go back to dead bedrooms and her taking advantage of you again. Upvotes 464. Why the hell are you still regularly talking to your ex? Why are you sharing the details of your dating life with each other? Yeah. 221. Upvotes. What future do you honestly see with your wife at this point? She left you and tried to leave you multiple times because she lost the spark and bedroom fun, correct? She wanted you to divorce her. Now she realizes how much more difficult life is and she wants you back. It's not because she loves you. It's not because she even cherishes you. She only wants you back because life will be more convenient to her. I believe a true marriage requires both people to do what they can to make each other happy and better. You even said that being away from her, you were able to better yourself. You can forgive her and still have some self-respect. Agreed. And we're going to end the video there. Again, guys, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Go there and subscribe to the Nebula tier. Again, it's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to my content, especially if you made it to the end of the video. Really do appreciate it. You guys are wonderful, and I will see you next time.